everybody, thanks so much for coming back to my channel. Today we're shooting Roark's 5-month update. I can't believe it's been 5 months already that this little boy has come into our lives, but we are so blessed to be his parents, and I am just so in awe of how much he has grown in the past few months and how fast he's developing. I probably won't have him in the video the whole time because he has been a little fussy today, and he also doesn't want to stay still for very long. So depending on how long we go with this video, I may have to sit him down with his toys or have him take a nap and then come back to the video. Just bear with me. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Jenna, this is Roark. Please subscribe and stick around. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Also, we really would like to thank everybody that has subscribed so far. We have reached 100 subscribers. Yay! It really makes me happy to know that people are enjoying those videos and following the journey. So thank you so much. Also, I have posted a video of our trip to California, a vlog, and I had some videos that I had from previous trips that I never posted, and I guess I was just very not confident on the material that I had and if I had enough for a video, and I started going back to them and looking at them, and it just made me relive those experiences, and I really just enjoyed having it to look back into. So those are like more for us, but I'm gonna start posting them, and if you like to travel, you may also enjoy them. Okay, so let's get started. Roark, as you can see, doesn't stop still for very long. His attention span is very small, so he has to be entertained a lot more often now, but he's getting a little bit more independent. So now we can set him up on the floor or with his toys, and he can play with them for quite a while without any interaction with us. But he does like to change up things. We have different stations in the house that he goes through the day. You know, his exerciser and swing, and then we'll do reading. Yeah, we just keep him busy through the day. And sometimes we may take walks, or we may go for like play groups, which he really likes. So Roark hasn't really grown as fast as he has in the past, you know, the first 4 months. He's still at 25 3/4 inches long and 16.5 pounds. So I think it was about a pound more than he was at his 4-month appointment. He is wearing 9 months clothes and number 3 diapers. So he's growing a little bit, but just not as fast as he did the first 4 months, which I think is to be expected. All right, I'm back. So Roark fell asleep for a nap, so I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can before he wakes up. So Roark is paying a lot more attention to human food right now. He still feeds very well on the breast, but when we are having our dinner or any food in general and he's sitting on our lap, he loves to watch us eat, and he's like staring at the food. A couple times he has reached out into the plate and tried to grab food. So I'm thinking that we're gonna have to start feeding him solids pretty soon. But I am trying to wait until he's 6 months, and because we have a big trip coming up, and I think it will be easier if he's still breastfed, but it would depend on how well he's doing with the breast milk. Roark is grabbing and pulling things now, his toys and my hair and things that he can reach, and he usually ends up put them in his mouth. It's the first place that it goes, but you know, he's like discovering new things, and his grip is really firm right now. So some of the toys that he has around his exerciser, he pulls so hard that sometimes I feel like they're gonna break. So I'm just waiting for the thing to break, because sometimes he's pulling his whole weight into it. I think it's preparation for like when he needs to get up and pull himself up into things. So he's kind of working out those muscles. On the same note of, you know, preparing himself for getting up and walking and crawling, he rolls over both ways now very easily. I'll put him down on his back and he rolls over right away, and he does move himself from one position to the other. So whenever I put him on the floor or like on his crib, I will come back like less than 2 minutes later and he's like in a completely different position than I put him down on. He also gets his legs underneath him and kind of like pushes himself. It's almost like an inchworm, and I think it's preparation for crawling, but I'm not sure. But that's how he moves, a few inches at a time. A couple times I have come back into his room while he's taking a nap, and he has both of his legs sticking out of the crib rails, and I've noticed some scuff marks on his feet from doing that. So he kicks on them, and he also puts the feet through the rails, but he can't get himself out. So I'm a little bit afraid that he may get stuck in there and hurt himself. So I need to, you know, if you have any recommendations on that, please let me know. I would love that. Roark is not only just pulling things and holding things, but he's also pinching now. So last month was hitting. He discovered hitting. And this month is more on the pinching side. So he pinches really, really hard. And because his nails grow very fast, like I have to trim them every week, he also is getting to a point where when he pinches, he uses his nails. He does that sometimes on my breasts when he's feeding, and let me tell you, it's not fun. I'm not enjoying this this new, you know, skill that he is developing. He pinches. He also grabs our arms when we're changing him, and he just holds on, like, you know, like he figure out he has strength now. So it's really interesting that he does that. Does anybody else's babies pinch? I would love to know if this is like a normal thing or if I should be worried a little. Something else that he has discovered lately is that he blows raspberries, and he discovered his tongue. He also discovered his feet, so now he grabs them and he kind of plays with them. He drools a lot now. I've felt his gums and there's nothing there, but a lot of people have told me that teething starts a few months before the tooth actually comes out, so it must be that. But he's drooling a lot more now, and he chews on his hands constantly, and he puts everything in his mouth, but I have not felt any teeth yet. He's starting to show a little bit of frustration as well, other than crying. If he doesn't get his way, or if something doesn't work the way that he wants it to work, then he starts hitting on the floor or on the mattress. Usually it's when he's on his belly. He'll show frustration by hitting like both hands at the same time. He really loves to watch YouTube videos, and whenever the commercials come in, he absolutely goes crazy. Like, he doesn't like the commercials, and you know, you have to wait like 5 seconds to skip the ads, and so he is like hitting, you know, the whole time. And I'm like, how do you know it's an ad? You know, like, you're only 5 months, but apparently he knows. So every time an ad comes on, that's what he does. The other thing that he loves is his exerciser. That toy is getting good use because we started putting him in there when he was 4 months, and he has got into it like every single day for the 4th month to the 5th month, and he just loves it. He plays with every single toy, and he looks at himself in the mirror, and now he's discovered bouncing. So he's like, you know, every once in a while he will start jumping on it. It's so cute to see him doing those things, and you know, at the same time it makes me a little sad because he's getting so big. He loves any toys that makes noises, so I bought him some toys that are like instrument toys, and they're really for older kids, but I figured that those are the things he likes. So instead of giving him like baby toys that he doesn't really play with, I'll just give him whatever he already plays with. We also discovered that he likes the nursery music when he's sleeping. When I put him down for a nap, I will put the nursery music on, and it has a timer on it, and so it will go off. And if he starts fussing, this toy actually comes back alive, you know, like the music comes back and starts playing again, and then he soothes himself back to sleep. It's amazing. Who knew? I love it. It's better than anything that I've seen before. I guess my mom is wishing that she had that when I was little. Roark is still breastfed, and he eats very well. He's eating in shorter increments of time, but often. And he also still has the soy and dairy allergy. And the reason I know he still has it is because a few times while we were in California, I've eaten different things that I didn't know had dairy. And you know, it's interesting. You tell people like you cannot have dairy, and a lot of people don't know in the restaurant industry what dairy is sometimes, and so it's really tricky. I mean, there's some bread that have, you know, dairy, and some bread that don't have dairy. You know, there's different things that have soy that you wouldn't think of that would have soy, and so it's really hard to actually eat out with a soy and dairy allergy. I feel really bad for people that actually have those allergies since they were born, because I don't know how they do it. I really don't know. Since I had some dairy in the food and I didn't know, he actually felt really bad when we came back from California. He was really fussy. His bowels were really irritated, and he had diarrhea, and the diaper rash came back, and so that happened for a few days, and then he got better. It takes about 3 weeks for it to clear the mother system. So even if you just had it once, like if you have a butter, something with butter on it, it will affect the child and it won't leave your system for 3 weeks, which means that, you know, every time that you feed that child, you're giving them milk that has that whey protein or that protein from soy. And so it's not one of those things that, like, if you fall out of the wagon, you can pump and dump and then, you know, you're brand new. You have to be really good about policing what you eat and what you put into your body. And, you know, every once in a while I have accidents where we'll eat out, and I specifically ask for dairy-free, but apparently it's not. We recently took out the newborn insert from his bathtub, and he's too big for it now, and he likes to kick in the water, so he now can stand in the bathtub without that insert. And we even gave him a big bathtub bath. He loved it. For his sleep, he takes about 4 naps a day, and as I mentioned in my previous video, there's not like a really set routine of when he does it, but he has like this natural routine that he has fallen into. At 10 o'clock he will sleep, and he wakes up every few hours to feed, and then he wakes up for his day at 7:30 in the morning. That seems to work for us very well. Roark talks a lot. I mean, now he's like, he goes on for 10 minutes at least, just talking to his toys, to himself. Sometimes he'll talk to us, and it's really interesting because sometimes I'll start to interact with him and he just like shuts up. It's like, no, you were not privy to this conversation, Mom. I've heard a couple sounds coming from him that sound like da or ma, you know, like, so I don't know what his first words are gonna be, but we're waiting anxiously to see. He started giggling last month when I tickled him, and now he actually giggles if I talk to him in a certain way, or if he thinks that something's funny, he'll giggle. It's not like one of those full-on giggles. He really makes you work for the giggles and for the smiles, so that he doesn't give them out freely. He's much more of a thinker and observer. He likes to watch everything, and like, if you look at him, sometimes he's playing with his toys. He's like kind of working out, like, how does it work and how can I make it do certain things. He just has that look of concentration on his face. So whenever you're doing something to make him smile, it has to be something new or something that, you know, it has been proven to work, because he would not, you know, give you smiles otherwise. He is really into FaceTime. He FaceTimes with my mom almost daily, and then he FaceTime with his other grandparents once a week, and then sometimes with his cousins and aunt and uncle, and and uncles, I should say. And he really loves it. Like, I can just pick it up, I can pick up my phone and he's already looking at it, like, you know, who are we gonna talk to next? And let me tell you, he has touched the screen so many times, like, he has learned how to hang up on people. And he also knows that he can drag the screen, like, you know, the little picture where it shows you. I've learned how to use the phone a lot better now that he has come into our lives, because he just touches everything, moves everything, and then I'm like trying to figure out how to fix it. I'm feeling a little old. During this past month, Roark has gone on his first airplane trip. He also went on his first boat ride and he was asleep the whole time. We went for another hike, for a few more hikes. We went to the aquarium. So he has gone out a lot this past month. And you know, the weather is getting better, so we go to the park. We go on walks, and the more and more we can be outside, the more he loves it. His hair is growing a lot more, but it doesn't grow very fast. So I'm thinking that he's gonna be like 2 years old before he has his first haircut, or you know, enough hair to cut, because it doesn't grow that fast, and it's still very light on the top, and like it's like there's a ring of dark hair around his head. I guess they call it the old man's, you know, haircut or whatever, because it looks like a bald guy with the hair all around in the back. And when he was born, the hair on the top had fallen out, and he had very little of it already, and so he only had hair around it. So he had already that, you know, old man look, but now he has more hair around it and less hair on the top, so it's getting darker and you can really see that ring. And his hair on the top is still kind of blondish, so we don't know what color his hair is gonna be, and then on the where he has more hair is kind of more dark brown. His eyes are still a blue gray, but you have to kind of look at it in the light or look at it close, because in anything like pictures or video, it always looks very dark. So you need to be in person and look at it, and I haven't been able to really capture it where you can see the true color of his eyes. And then sometimes it has like kind of a yellow brownish tinge to it, so I'm thinking it's gonna be hazel eventually, but we don't know when that, you know, last color or that final color is gonna be there. Something that I noticed in the past month is that his breath smells very sweet. I read online that it's just because the breast milk is sweet. It does worry me a little bit, because one of the symptoms of diabetes is sweet smell in your breath, fruity smell. So I'm gonna check with the pediatrician on our next appointment. Since I am prone to diabetes, then I want to make sure that he is not developing any diabetes. I think it's very rare in infants to have type 2 diabetes, but you know, we'll see. And he passed his glucose test when he was born with flying colors, so at least that is pretty good. Please let me know in the comments if your baby's breath smells sweet, because that would set my mind at ease that is a normal thing. For diapers, he's on a number 3 diapers. He uses Huggies and Pampers. We have not used the baby dry Pampers as often now as we did on the first 3 months. That's because he's like urinating less, I believe, during the night, and the Huggies number 3 actually hold a lot more liquid, so he's been able to go with just regular diapers to bed, and then, you know, just have a change like when he wakes up. And he's kind of like on a schedule as well for the diaper, for his like bowel movements. He's been on a steady schedule for the past month, or actually 2 months, where he will wake up and then he'll have his diaper changed, and usually he only has like urine in it, and then he will have a couple bowel movements, a couple more diaper changes in the morning, and then for the rest of the day it's just urine, and then he may have like another bowel movement during the later part of the day, and then that's about it, which is really good, because we used to get blowouts like, you know, pretty frequently, but now I kind of know his danger times. So if we're gonna go out during those danger times, I'll carry extra pieces of clothes with us, just to make sure that I have enough if he does have a couple blowouts. During our play groups, he loves to watch other children, the older children. They're all older than him, and some of them are walking and some of them are crawling, and he likes to touch them and like interact with them, but he is a little bit of an introvert. He kind of like just, you know, sits back and watches them, so it would be interesting to see if it's gonna be an extrovert or an introvert. So I think this is it for now, guys. This is Roark's 5-month update. I'm sorry he wasn't able to be in the video the whole time. He's been a little bit fussy today, and he needed his nap, so I apologize for that, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please leave me any comments below if you have any questions or would like to comment. Let me know what you would like to see for the next videos. If you have like any preferences on what type of videos I should be doing. I am kind of, you know, trying to figure out what goes into this channel and what doesn't. So I'm always open for suggestions. And if you think that there's something that should be better, please let me know too. I'm open to constructive feedback. So thank you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.